Hey there, I am Dr. Edie Wadsworth, founder and creator of Life Mentoring School, where we help passionate, driven women live fully in their purpose and vocation. And I'm so glad you're here. This is part one of a three-part series on getting unstuck. That is the thing that women and clients that I work with tell me more than anything else is they feel stuck. They feel like they're spinning their wheels. They feel like they're living the same Groundhog Day over and over again. They know that deep down, they still have things to contribute in their lives, but they have just let the routine of how they've been thinking and feeling and what they've been doing get into this rut. So if you want help and clarity, getting yourself unstuck, getting yourself out of the rut you're in, moving in the directions of your highest calling, your highest dreams, you are in the right place. I also would love for you to share this. If you find this valuable, share this with people you know. I often imagine a world where women, sisters, and mamas like us have the freedom to lavish their gifts to the world in a way that leaves us feeling full of purpose, full of meaning, full of love. That really is my mission. And I hope that you can help us spread it to all the women that you love. So first, we want to make changes. We want to do things differently, but we feel like we can't. We feel like when we try, we get nowhere. For some of us, this manifests itself as we just fall into a pile of bad habits. We start overeating or overspending or over drinking because we're so tired of what's going on in our brains, this rut, this treadmill we feel like we're on, that it's so much easier to just buffer with food or drink or shopping or whatever. We can feel stuck in that way, but we can also feel stuck in our relationships. We can feel like we get to this place where we're like, wow, this is not what I expected. It feels like we're just living the same day over again. It feels like we're always having the same arguments. It feels like these relationships are stale. So maybe it's that. Maybe for some of you, you feel stuck in negative emotion. That's the other common thing my clients tell me is they feel like I just always feel anxious. I'm always feeling sad. I always feel overwhelmed. They kind of feel stuck in these emotions. And what I want us to see is that you're right for feeling like I got to do something about this. There is a high price to pay for feeling stuck in this negative or unproductive cycle. It does often lead to us feeling overwhelmed, confused, not sure if life will ever be different, not sure if we can ever rise above this phase of life that we feel like we've gotten ourselves in. And it's not just that you stay where you are, but it's that you feel like you lose so much ground. And you do, because listen, I know that God created you for contribution, for the amazing contribution that only you can make. The longer you stay stuck in this cycle and in this story that you've been telling yourself, the longer it is before we get those gifts that you were meant to share with the world. We are going to remedy that today. Now, here is why I can help you, because I am you. I have been you. I remember waking up 10 or 15 years ago going, what has happened? I thought life was supposed to be different. How did I end up here? How did I end up in these cycles that I'm in my habits and in my relationships, in my emotional life? And I tried everything. I started reading self-help books. I tried all different kinds of diets. I tried different relationship tips, and I found things that worked temporarily. But I often found myself coming back to the same rut, coming back to the same place of stuckness. And the reason for that is because the solutions that I was seeking were often just helping me with the actions, helping me to take different actions, which I often had to do with willpower. It addressed the symptoms, but didn't ever get at the root cause or the heart of what was causing me to feel this way. If you're having to use willpower, if you're just throwing spaghetti at the wall, trying to make changes here and there, and you find that it doesn't last, it's not because something's wrong with you. It's because you only have so much willpower in your life, and we can only attack things with those actions for so long. And then we just get worn out. We're like, wow, how long can I keep doing that? How long can I keep trying to do this with willpower? It doesn't work long term. And then to make matters worse, you look at those failed attempts to make those changes and you make it mean, well, it'll never work for me. See, look there, I tried and I failed. And we make it mean that something is wrong with us, that we're broken. We look at other people and we go, why can't I make headway in this area of my life when it feels like other people can? That just keeps the negative spiral spinning in the wrong direction. You end up frustrated with yourself, feeling down on yourself, feeling at times hopeless. You end up feeling overwhelmed. And then if you're like me, you give up. But I want to challenge the belief that it's hard or impossible to get unstuck and to live our lives really so full of purpose, so full of joy and love and meaning. I promise you, it isn't hard. It's just that we've been going about it the wrong way. We think that something needs to change on the outside, some kind of circumstance, some other person. We try to change ourselves kind of from the outside in. And when that doesn't work, we make it mean, see, I'm not the kind of person who can make change, who can get the results that I want in my life. 10 years ago, I was pretty sure that the reason my life didn't look like it should is because of other people, outside circumstances. I thought my life had been harder than it should have been. I thought nobody really supports me in my dreams. I felt secretly resentful. I felt powerless actually to make real change because I would do those sort of willpower changes and I wouldn't be able to sustain them. I craved a life of meaning and purpose, but I felt like every day was just Groundhog Day. Same worry, same stress over and over, same negative emotions, same bad habits, overeating, overspending. And I thought, whatever this good life is, or living at my best, or whatever, maybe it's just not for someone like me. So if you have had those thoughts, you are in the right place. And I am going to tell you in this 3-part series, we are going to uncover the simple solution to getting yourself on the track that you want to be on the track of your dreams, off of this negative Groundhog Day treadmill. I started feeling that no matter what I did, it would last for a while and then it wasn't, and then it wouldn't. I would seek out temporary pleasure because I felt so bad. I felt like I'm on this negative treadmill. So I would seek out temporary pleasure wherever it could be had, which led to these bad habits that felt like they were impossible to get out of. And I knew that I wasn't really using my gifts. I knew that I was made for more. I knew that God created me and wired me for really meaningful connection with other people. I knew that I was created to do hard things. I knew that I was created to contribute to in service to other people. I just couldn't seem to get myself there. And if you find yourself in the same situation, it's not your fault. This is what society has taught us, and this is how our brains are wired. Our brains are wired to seek pleasure. Our brains are wired to conserve energy. We want to do things, if we're following that primal brain, we want to do things that feel easy, where there's no risk, where we can't fail. But I promise you, that the life of your dreams, the life of your deepest contribution, the life of your most meaningful connection is a life that feels at first a little bit harder, feels like discomfort. It feels like, oh, I'm going outside what my primal brain wants to do. But God created you and he gifted you with everything that you need, I promise you, to live the outrageous and joyful life that he meant for you. I teach my clients a really important tool that helps them see why they keep getting stuck. This tool is called the creation cycle. I use this tool with my clients every day. The basis of the creation cycle is this. There are all these things outside of us. You have, your spouse, your job, your kids, your mother-in-law, the amount that you weigh, how much money you have in your bank account, all of these things that are basically outside of you. And those we just call our circumstances, the circumstances of our lives. We often are depending on those circumstances to determine how we feel. So if our bank account doesn't say what we think, then we feel bad, then we get depressed, then we spin in overwhelm and in worry. What we fail often to take into account is that no matter what's happening on the outside, we always get to create the inner life we want with our thoughts, feelings, and actions. Our thoughts are very powerful. The scripture says that as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Your thoughts will eventually give you the results of your life. Your thoughts will become things. And how they do that is by creating feelings for you. Those feelings drive all your actions or all of your inactions. And there you have your inner life, how you think, feel, and act. That's your inner life. And that creates results for you internally and results for you also in the world. So instead of looking at the outside circumstances, the state of my marriage, what one of my kids may or may not be doing, the job that I currently have to determine my life, how I experience my life, I get to take ownership back of that and decide, how do I want to think about my life? Now, I even dare say that you telling yourself that you're stuck is just a thought that you have been thinking so often over and over again that you have created stuckness by that thought. The first step to getting unstuck is realizing that it is a state of being that you have created by your pattern of thinking. When you think that you're stuck, you often feel sad, depressed, disappointed in yourself. And from those feelings, you take actions that confirm, yes, I am stuck, because here I am taking the same actions over and over that are not giving me the life I want. I'm continuing to do things I don't want, overeating, overspending, over scrolling on Facebook, over drinking, whatever it is that the actions that we take that just confirm the thoughts we have. Our thoughts are so powerful. And when you begin to employ this tool, this creation cycle, you will get so many epiphanies, so many aha moments in your life. You'll realize that you're making things so much more complicated than they need to be. And you've been trying to make change in your life just by changing the actions, but you haven't addressed the root of the problem, which is always your thinking. When you begin to see your life, this inner life that you're creating for yourself, as this triad of thoughts, feeling, and actions, you will see how much control you have over the way you experience your life. This is the method that I live by, that I coach by. It's grounded in the ancient scriptures. It's steeped in the truth of how God made us. And it gets at the heart of why we are experiencing this feeling of stuckness. When you employ this tool, everything will change for you. It will help you see why you are where you are and exactly how to change things at a root level. It will activate your dreams and your creativity again. You will start exploring all the possibilities for your life that have felt out of reach because you were only looking at them from the action line. You will find yourself living with more passion, more purpose, more excitement, more joy than ever before. And the ripple effect of this that it will have for you, for your family, for your work, for your marriage, and for everyone in your life will seriously astonish you. Living this method, addressing your problems this way, will start a massive movement in the way you think about your life. And it will start this ripple effect, the effect that you have on everyone else because you have decided to take your thoughts captive. You have decided to take responsibility for what you're creating in your own life and in the world, and you will begin to set the world on fire. This tool is so, so powerful. In the next video, I'm going to share with you some of the major epiphanies that I have had in my own life from employing this tool. So if you've been living on autopilot, that stops today. Living on autopilot, not recognizing how much agency you have over your life. Not living like that deprives you of your deepest, most meaningful contribution, of a way that you could experience your life that is so rich and so full of joy, so full of peace, so full of your most creative and compassionate contribution. So if you're ready to live with intention, if you're ready to live from your truest self, from your most noble desires, then I want you to listen to all 3 episodes in this series. You will exchange this habit of putting off what matters for the soul nourishing, life altering, radiant power of taking charge of your own mind and your own emotions so that you can then offer your gifts as you train yourself to tune into your highest good, to tune into where you really need to grow, to tune into your particular zone of genius. The world becomes better when you do this. You bring a light into the dark places of the world that isn't there. You reacquaint yourself with the version of you that's fierce and noble, the version of you that's a nurturer and a life giver that brings so much healing to mankind because you have decided to take your own thoughts captive. You have decided to transform your own life by renewing your mind. So join me in the next video. We are going to talk about these epiphanies that will totally change your life using the creation cycle. I'm going to demonstrate it for you in ways where you will see like, oh my word, this is so, so powerful. This tool is an amazing tool. And when you begin to use it, your life will change from the inside out. If you are listening to this on the podcast, you can just go to lifementoringschool.com/start and you will be able to watch all 3 videos and get the help that you need to get unstuck once and for all. Thanks for joining today. I'll see you soon.